This is the PKS Running Club. Ordinary runners, extraordinary stories. I'm Paul, PKS Runs, and each week I sit down with another runner and get their real story. Not the highlight reel, whoever they are. Find me on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok as PKS Runs. Enjoy the show. Well, welcome back to the PKS Running Club podcast. My name is Paul, I'm the host, and I started this podcast really as a way to chat with people that I find interesting and people that have got probably more interesting stories about running than me. It's not about chatting to other influencers or people who are running experts. It's about talking to ordinary, everyday runners, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have Rebecca with me on the podcast today. Welcome, Rebecca. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
It's a way to spend an afternoon.
It's a great way to spend an afternoon. I am just loving chatting to people about running. It really is so enjoyable. I have so far heard so many interesting stories. I've got some unreleased episodes that we've not got to yet, but we don't need to worry about those because today we are focusing on you. Rebecca, I've known you for 7 or so years, but in a professional context. So, how have we come into each other's orbits?
Well, I guess I should start by saying this is all a bit weird because I'm the one used to being the interviewer.
Exactly.
Having spent my life as a market researcher. So I have spent the last however many years talking to people, doing the interviewing, picking apart people's stories. And here I am on the other end of it, the boot being on the other foot. So having spent my career as a market researcher, I forget how exactly we came across each other, but in a professional capacity as a supplier, I guess I would say. Yeah.
Well, you were one of our clients.
It does.
It sounds really formal. I think how it happened. I chased down one of your colleagues, Babita, over and over and over to try and get a meeting back with you. You'd used us previously and tried to get back through the door, and eventually we did.
With a box of donuts, I remember that.
Yeah, it was a box of donuts.
Donuts.
Interestingly enough, so that was when I had probably freshly joined the industry and was not known as a runner and did not have the shape of a runner, and would turn up to client meetings with big boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts and presumably be very much looking forward to getting to the local KFC or Nando's or somewhere. And the interesting kind of trail of photos through my career at Quolsey shows me just gradually like getting a bit fitter and a bit healthier, and my food photos getting a little bit more interesting and less beige. So yeah, you were there at the very start when I was really quite unhealthy. And I'm now acutely aware that you have mentioned that you are a professional interviewer, and here I am, under the cosh. I'll maybe at the end of this you can give me some feedback on how I've done and whether I could make it in the research industry on the other side of the table. So, Rebecca, how long have you been running?
I should have prepared for this. I would say I wasn't 40 and now I'm 52. So let's say 12 or 13 years, like properly.
Yeah.
I did a 10K run many years ago when I was at Mill Brown working as a much more junior researcher, and loads of people in the office were doing the local 10K run.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll do that. And I guess I must have trained for it. And it was the most miserable hour of my life. And I said, I'm never doing any running ever again.
Yeah.
And hated every minute of it and didn't do any running for a long time. And then had my arm twisted again all those years later by a friend going, let's do a different local run, 10K run. And we did a little bit of training for it and enjoyed it marginally more, at which point she said, let's do Parkrun. And I was like, it means I have to get up in the morning on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But we did go to Parkrun, mainly for the competitive night. We were both a bit competitive with each other.
Yeah.
So, we did Parkrun for a little while. And then she said, let's join a running club. like, why do we want to join a running club? Like, what do we want to do that for?
Yeah.
So we joined the local ladies running club, and from there I never looked back. I'm now a leader in that running club. I'm running with them all the time. I'm running 4 times a week. But from the like, why do we want to join a running club?
Yeah.
That's, well, it's taken me all over the place. So, and some interesting races along the way and some interesting experiences.
Yeah.
And yeah,
so
that was that really.
We'll come back to your races and sort of credentials, etc., in a moment. But so what changed for you then? Because obviously it sounds like you really, really didn't enjoy that very first 10K.
No.
You enjoyed your second 10K a little bit more.
I enjoyed the feeling at the end of it. I enjoyed the kind of the completion and the sense of achievement and satisfaction at the end of it. Whether I enjoyed the experience at the time, probably not. But I enjoyed that feeling that you get at the end of a good run.
Yeah.
So,
did you get that first time round as well, or not?
No.
So it's just all pain, no reward.
I just remember nothing good about that first. I mean, the run that we did I did that first time round is uphill. It's a point to point run, and it is net uphill, and it is pretty hilly.
Yeah.
And I probably hadn't trained, and it would have been hot. It's always hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that kind of sense of achievement at the end, and that sense that that feeling you get when you've had a good run.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite addictive, as you know.
Yeah, one of the things I often think, and I'm not sure if I've ever recorded out loud, but it's something I've been pondering over for a while, is I don't think the first run is the hardest run. It's the second or third run when you know how hard it is, when you've already experienced it. So what was the mindset shift when your friend, many years later says, do you want to do a 10K with me? Like, how did you prepare and get yourself ready for that, knowing that the last time you did it, you really didn't enjoy it?
There were probably enough years gone by to have, I remembered that I hadn't enjoyed it, but the specifics would have been long forgotten, I guess. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have trained the first time round. So that feeling of, we're going to do a 10K, let's do a bit of training.
Yeah.
So I would have got myself to a point where I knew I could run 10K.
Yeah.
So yeah, that fact that I would have gone into that second race knowing that I was going to get round.
Yeah.
Without some awfulness happening. Probably not overthinking it as well, I should imagine.
Yeah.
And not having any expectations of myself. And then, I don't know.
And so then what was the training process like then? So you went from...
I think I would use the word training pretty loosely.
Well, for second time round. Let's go second time round. It was still very loose.
Yeah, still, it was a question of loads of people locally are doing the local run.
Yeah.
Let's do it too. Oh, we better go for some runs beforehand. I wouldn't call it training in the sense that I might now. Yeah,
okay. And then you got into doing Parkrun?
Briefly, yeah. I had a brief
brief.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me about that.
But for good reason. Once I joined the running club, we run on a Sunday morning.
Okay.
And I like a lion at the weekend.
Yeah.
So, and at Parkrun, I have to drive to Parkrun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Parkrun's great. I love a lot of things about Parkrun.
Yeah.
But it doesn't suit me. I have to drive there. It's 5K. I don't like running 5K. I'd much rather run longer.
Yeah.
And I run on a Sunday morning. So if I'm going to get up on a Sunday morning to run, I'm having my lion on a Saturday, and it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah. I 100% get that. Rather ashamedly, my excuse for never doing Parkrun was that I had to drive to Parkrun. Parkrun is now on my regular running route, about a mile from my house, not even that. And I still cannot get up and get out on a Saturday morning to get to Parkrun. There's something else about just running on my own that I love more than running in a group on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So
I think I also don't like trying to run fast. And I think if you're 5K, there's that thing about you need to run it fast. And I don't particularly enjoy running fast over short distances. I would rather run longer and slower.
Yeah.
And I don't mind racing fast occasionally.
Yeah.
But I don't like trying to run at 5K speed.
5K is a horrible race. I think I've probably only tried it maybe some 5K blocks within a marathon kind of, long run, but I've only been and done Parkrun kind of full tilt about 3 times, and all 3 times I just hated it. Just, I think it takes a very special type of person, I think. So you've done half marathons, you've done marathons, you've done ultra marathons now. Ultra marathon or thuns?
Yeah. The single.
Talk me through that progression then, like, because I would say when I see you on Strava, you are a running fanatic. You've got the bug. So how has that journey unfolded?
So I guess not long after we joined the running club, that ice bucket challenge thing was happening.
Yes.
Do you remember people throwing like buckets of ice water over their head?
Yes, I do remember.
I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. I'll run Warwick Half Marathon instead. Thanks very much.
Brilliant.
And to me, that was more palatable training for a half marathon than throwing a bucket of ice water over my head.
Yep.
So then I like trained for my first half marathon, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was, I'm going to say 2013, maybe.
Yeah.
Around that time. So that's when I properly trained, as in like ran 3 times a week, up my miles to be able to get round a half marathon, and wanted to do it at 10-minute mile pace. So that would have been 2:07.
Yeah.
Started on the start line thinking, I might be able to do a little bit quicker than that, and did it in 1:55.
Wow.
Having never run that speed over any distance.
Wow. Okay.
At any point.
Yeah.
So quite how that happened, who knows?
Yeah.
But then you realise that actually it's quite, if you put the effort in, it's actually quite enjoyable, and it gives you the appetite, I guess, to try harder or try again, or
So you've been racing now for 13 or so years. How have you chased? You said earlier that you're quite competitive, so that was one of the reasons.
Myself,
with yourself. So have you chased performance and bettering on your times, or what is a race for you? Is it an opportunity to prove yourself better than you thought you were, or is it just about participation? And how do you define it?
Well, it's all sorts of things. So after that first race in Warwick, I then went, I didn't realise I could run that fast.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have another go at some point. And later that year or the next year, did a couple more half marathons and got my time down to 1:53, I think, and was quite delighted with that.
Yeah. And
then had various injury problems, but not that stopped me from running, but problems with calves and all the rest of it, which just really, I just couldn't go any faster. And then, you get older and you're in your 40s and you're like, oh, well, that's what it is. And I got slower and slower, but it didn't bother me at all, even though I'm quite competitive with myself. It didn't particularly bother me. I had the odd race around 2 hours. Yeah. And if I broke 2 hours, then I was pretty delighted, to be honest. And then this is like condensing 10 years into like 1 minute. But then a couple of years ago, I started run walking at races because I'd read a lot about it, and I'd read that, people can still go quicker when they run walk and la la la. And it must be 2 years ago, did my first half marathon with a very structured run walk.
Yeah.
And broke 2 hours without even thinking about it. Really.
Yeah.
At which point I was like, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Like maybe this is my path to getting faster again. And tried it a few more times. Didn't change anything about my running, my training, my regular running.
Yeah.
Didn't do any run walking in training, only did it on the race.
Yeah.
And then finally last year or this year, where are we now? Earlier this year, finally beat that PB from all those years ago. So it's taken me like over 10 years to get back to that like wondrous time from 2015, whenever it was.
And how much did you break it by then?
Oh, not much, like 20 seconds. But still, to be
That's
like
incredible.
12 years old or 10 years older, it is, I'll kind of add the 10 years on.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
It's,
so what's your... what's your strategy then? So how much I know I've seen your strategy, and I think we've discussed it offline. But for the benefit of the listener, I use the singular there quite intentionally. How does that work? So obviously you run for a certain amount of time, you walk for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Talk us through it.
So I have it set up on my watch, like through the Garmin app or whatever. And I started doing 9 minutes, 1 minute.
Yeah.
At 9 minutes run, 1 minute walk. And then when I was like, I'm getting really close now, I changed it to 9 minutes and 7 seconds.
Oh, okay.
9 minutes and 10 seconds felt too long.
Yeah, okay.
So I changed it to 9 minutes and 7 seconds.
Wow.
And 1 minute. And, I had read up on it and like listened to people talking about it. And I totally buy into the kind of science behind it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it keeps your legs fresh. And so the first 9 minutes I run. I don't walk after that first break, but I slow right down.
Yeah.
Just because I think if you started walking after 9 minutes, you just get all the people kind of going, oh, what are you doing? Keep going. You're in the way. So it's just too crowded at the beginning. So the first walk interval I do is a very slow run.
Yeah.
But from then on, it's literally peg it for 9 minutes, and then properly stop to walk in the 1 minute. And if you're going up a hill on your run tough, you have to run up the hill. If you're going downhill on the walk, you still walk. And for me, it totally works because I get to the end feeling as if I could carry on. My legs don't hurt the next day. I've negative splitted that way, which I would never ever in a million years do on a normal race. And I'm running faster than I was 10 years ago. So
it's amazing.
And I do a little bit of speed work.
Yeah.
Leading up to races because I quite enjoy doing speed intervals. If I'm running on my own.
Yeah.
But I don't follow very strict training plans for a half marathon. I like to be always fit enough to know that if I needed to go and run 13 miles tomorrow, I could go and do it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think I'm always half marathon ready.
Yep.
If not fit. So I don't particularly train for a half marathon.
Yeah.
I'd make sure I'd done 11, 12 miles in the month beforehand. But I like to do 10 or 11 miles on a Sunday morning anyway. So I like to think I'm always half marathon ready.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, well, if I trained properly, I could probably go a bit quicker. But
it's
like,
I think it's great. I've always, for the last few years, I've always said I want to be always half marathon ready, and ideally, I'd love to be marathon ready. But the marathon, I think the marathon's a different beast.
Yeah, where I say I don't train for a half marathon, all of the marathons that I've done, I've properly followed a training plan.
Yeah.
So
and so we're still trying to get my head around the run walk thing then. So are you intentionally running faster in that? Yeah. And are you?
I'm properly pushing myself then.
Yeah. Okay. So you're pushing yourself. I guess probably you must be sub threshold or something. So for 9 minutes, and then you're properly giving yourself the opportunity to recover. Yeah. And then you're going for it again.
And you go again.
Yeah.
And mentally, in my head, I'm like, all I've got to do is run 9 minutes. It's all you've got to do. You don't think ahead.
Yeah.
On my watch, all I can see is how long to go in that segment. I have no idea of my distance, my speed, anything. All I know is counting down that 9 minute thing. Yeah. So all I have to do is get to 9 minutes, and then I can have a rest, and then you go again. And because it's segmented up in those little chunks, then that works for me. It's just run for 9 minutes, and you can do that. You can always run for 9 minutes. Yeah. Forget the fact that after another minute you're gonna have to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And are you keeping a mental kind of breakdown of okay, there are. That's 12 segments down, 11 to go.
I lose count. I lose count.
Yeah.
So, if I think when my watch beeps, it probably tells me, but only for split seconds. And obviously, you pass the mile markers,
of course.
So you do roughly know where you are.
You know it, yeah.
But no, I kind of lose count.
And are you tracking your heart rate? Are you paying any attention to heart rate? No, you just so you're doing this by feel, it's brilliant. So, I mean, it's incredible, really, to think, 12 years on, you're in your 50s, you're beating the time that you set in your late 30s, early 40s. Yeah. And in a completely counter-intuitive way.
Yeah. And I mean, more important than that to me, in an enjoyable way.
Yeah.
You know, I would stand on the start line of a half marathon now, knowing that I was going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, to your original question, a while ago, so I race for that reason sometimes. But some races are sociable. You know, I am probably the opposite from you in that I love running with other people.
Yes.
So some races are about running with other people, which could be like my normal running friends, as in the people that I normally run with, or just other people from running club, or I've done some pacing for a friend of mine, which I absolutely love. You know, breaking her personal best is as satisfying as breaking mine.
I remember seeing that one.
You know, we've done it a few times now, and you know, that's as enjoyable. You know, for me, you know, her PB went from like 220 something to 205 now. You know, we've chipped away at it, but you know, running a half marathon, when I first started running races with her, you know, running at 2:15 was, you know, quite enjoyable. Quite enjoyable day out. Pacing her to 2:05 was a little bit harder, you know, because you're working harder. But you know, I find that as enjoyable as any other kind of racing. So not all races, you know, some are sociable events, some are because they're local and you feel you should. Some might be as part of training for a marathon, and then I would say a racing race doesn't happen very often. You know.
With your friend, did you do run walk with them?
No, she's like a little robot. You know, you wind her up and let her go.
Oh right, so, okay.
But because we're running at a different pace, she's like, you know, she can keep a metronomic pace the whole way. She's quite impressive.
Yeah, lucky.
So, but then you've done that, haven't you? You've done some pacing.
I've done it a couple of times for friends, and I do really enjoy it. Actually, I really enjoy it. And funnily enough, I was thinking about this on my run this morning. I'm assuming my Valencia time from last year would get me a place good for age for London next year. I don't need to apply until I think September or October. And I was thinking, I wonder if, because I don't really want to do it. There's nothing enjoyable about it. But I was thinking about my brother-in-law who's got a charity. My brother-in-law's got a charity place and wants to try and run 4 hours. And I thought I could see that being really enjoyable. I could, you know, go and help somebody else and have some fun and enjoy the crowd. I don't remember the crowd at all at London. Everyone talks about this incredible crowd. I just remember just being in an absolutely terrible place. And just
we had like a complete opposite London Marathon experiences.
So I think everybody has the opposite experience too. I think everybody I speak to really enjoys it. Occasionally I get that, you know, somebody who's like, I wasn't that impressed with it, but most people were.
Quick pause, because obviously we've got sponsors lined up just around the corner. We don't. We're way too small for that. And honestly, I kind of love it. No ad reads, no discount codes, no use PKS10 for 10% off. Just runners talking to runners. So instead of a sponsor, here's the actual ask. If this episode hits you in any way, please send it to one person, a mate, a family member, a training partner, somebody who needs to hear it. Follow at the PKS Running Club on Instagram. That's where all of these stories live in between episodes. And hit subscribe wherever you're listening so you don't miss the next one. That's it. That's the ad. Now, back to the show.
Something you mentioned, I can't remember if this was on a one of your posts or whether this is in response to one of my kind of slightly more provocative questions on Instagram. But one of the things that you talked about was when doing the run walk, there are I guess the guys with the savior complex who come and give you like the unsolicited advice, and you know, arrogant pricks basically who think that there is a problem that needs to be fixed,
to be solved.
How do you deal with that? Because you also said earlier that you run with a women's running club, and you know, I'm really aware that I think, you know, men, I think probably in all walks of life don't have a particularly great reputation. But within the running world, I think there is a lot of ego. And, you know, you see someone walking and, you know, even when I've been running and relatively fast, I still have men run past me who want to give me advice. And
And as a man, I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever. But how does that come into your play, and how do you deal with that?
Oh, I just ignore them. I mean, to be honest, if I want to run, like when I ran my PB in Stratford this year, I knew I needed, because it's quite a narrow course, it's all on country lanes, I knew I needed to start in a reasonably fast start pen, because if you start at the sub 2 hour or whatever, you're going to be, my running bits need to be considerably faster than that, and then you're stuck kind of weaving in and out. So you have to start in a reasonably fast, in a legitimate start pen.
Yeah, sure.
But you have to start quite fast, and then you're running at that speed. At least, in the running bits. But then, of course, you stop to slow down. And I'm very, very aware of other people, and I do not get in their way. And I always pull over to the side. I always look behind me before I slow down. I'm acutely aware that the last thing I want is to be that person in someone's way. So I'm acutely aware not to make that happen. But yeah, particularly early on, and it is always men. Kind of like, if you've got cramp, put your hands above your head and, come on, you can do it. But not come on, you can do it in an encouraging way, in a kind of quite patronizing way. And you just have to ignore it. And the irony is that a lot of those people you will overtake later on because they've gone off too fast. And, the temptation to be like, we had a little chat 10 miles ago, but we have a little chat now.
Kind of that's right.
You just have to be the better person, basically.
Well done. Someone's got to be the adult.
Too short. Yeah. I mean, I'm one to get into a debate about things, but it's not how I want to.
I know. So I think that's really good. I think it's those sorts of things. I think if I was in your position, I would get in my own head. I think I really struggle with it. Just to kind of find kind of like that peace and equilibrium. But it sounds like you're really able to kind of just brush it aside and go, okay,
it's like just you use your energy for what you need your energy for, and I'll conserve mine, thanks very much. But the feeling that when you pass them 8 or 9 miles down the line is, the satisfaction is...
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
It's the wrong...
Yeah. So how long was it until you did your first marathon?
Well, my first marathon... It must have been 2016, I think. And I did it with a guy who was running 401 marathons in 401 days.
Oh, my goodness.
A guy called Ben Smith.
Wow.
And he was an incredible guy. And he was going around the country in a camper van.
Yeah.
Like a camper van. Going somewhere different every day. And he was doing it to raise awareness for anti-bullying charities. Because he'd been bullied as a child.
Yeah.
And he met up with a different running club each day, and the running club kind of organised him a marathon route, and sometimes people ran with him and sometimes they didn't. And that's how I came to hear about him, because he approached our running club and said, I'm in your area on whatever day, can you suggest a good route for me? And if anyone wants to come and run with me, then, appreciate it. So quite a few of us ran with him on that day in the absolute pouring rain. Chucking it down, but only for 5 or 6 miles. We kind of did it on a rota, different people ran with him, but he was such a nice guy and totally inspirational. And I was like, when he comes back to the area again, in 3 or 4 months time, I'll run with him again. So he came to Stratford, and whilst he had his camper van, he also sometimes stayed with people or parked his van on their drive. So he came to stay here the night before. So that was really nice to spend time with him and hear his story and get to know him.
Yeah.
And he was doing Stratford the next day, which was 2 loops of a half marathon.
Yeah.
The Stratford. And I was like, well, I'm definitely going to run the half, but we'll see how it goes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So ran it again. It was chucking it down with rain, absolutely pelting it down. And we did the half, and then stopped at the pub for lunch.
Yeah.
You dried off our socks in the hand dryers in the toilets, kind of thing. And then I was like, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose by going out and having a go at doing the other half as well. Because his philosophy was, whoever's with me, we go at their pace, like the slowest.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because he was taking all day to do these marathons. So off we went and ran another half. And yes, we'd stop for lunch in the middle, but I do call that my first marathon. because I ran 26.2 miles on the
Yeah.
same day.
Wow.
So that was that. And then I was like, oh, well, if I've done that, I may as well like run an actual marathon then.
Yeah.
Because like so a couple of weeks or maybe a month or so later, I went out and did Worcester Marathon.
Yeah.
Which is everything I hate about marathons, like, or big races, all in the countryside, no people on the course, 2 loops, like hell on earth.
Yeah.
You know, just everything I don't like about racing.
Yeah.
But then I'd got a marathon under my belt, and yeah, that was that really. I haven't done loads of marathons, but that was the first.
You've done some good ones though. Tell me,
Yeah.
because you did Lisbon, didn't you?
I did. I think Lisbon may have been the next. I forget what order they came in. Oh no, maybe Manchester. Well, yes, I did Lisbon, and it was 35 degrees.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It was hard, as you know. It's a tough course.
Yeah, it is.
But
labeled as flat, but anything but.
Yeah. Well, I had made the mistake of looking at the course profile, seeing that it was like net downhill. You know, you start here and you end here.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's downhill all the way.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the fact that it goes like this in between.
Yeah.
So that was a mistake on my part.
And you end on cobblestones.
Yes.
Which is never enjoyable on any kind of run.
No. And then Manchester, I really enjoyed Manchester.
Yeah.
Because it's everything I do like about marathons, you know, lots of crowds, nice and flat. Liverpool I did.
Oh, okay.
That was a tough one because I had trained like really hard for that, and then at 6 miles to go the wheels came off and was utterly miserable 6 mile schlep along the Mersey. But hey ho, you live and learn. Where else have I done? London, which was amazing. Just that was by far and away the best marathon experience for me. Brighton, which was not fun.
No, okay.
That's hilly and hard, and
a straight out and back, isn't it?
There's a lot of out and backs. It's out and back in the city, out and back up the cliffs, out and back along the seafront, out and back to Hove.
Horrible.
Yeah, really hard. I feel like I'm missing one. Yeah, I don't know. There's another one there somewhere, but yeah. 7 altogether anyway.
So, and do you have another one lined up?
No, there will be another one. A good friend of mine, one of my running buddies, was originally planning to do Budapest for her 50th next year.
Oh, wow.
That's what she wanted to celebrate, that we'd all go to Budapest and run the marathon.
Yeah.
But I think she's decided her hamstrings maybe aren't up to that, so it might be the half instead.
Okay.
But I'm quite keen to try the run walk thing on a marathon.
Yeah.
Because the run walk thing came after Brighton.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing with a marathon is you have to train for it.
You do. Yeah, you do. So what would your marathon PB be then?
4:16.
4:16. Yeah. So there's
definitely a sub 4. Well, there's got to be a 4:10 in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's every chance. I think hearing the concept of it, I mean, it's only in the last few years that I've got into just every once in a while having a walk on an actual run. And it's kind of game changing particularly when you're struggling. You just kind of go, right, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to walk and, I might film or something. It has genuinely changed things. I don't intentionally run any faster between those bits, though. No,
but if you're training, it's different.
It's a whole different story. Yeah. So, change of tack, completely. Recently, you were made redundant.
Indeed, yes.
How has, as somebody who's just stepped out of work, I understand that the change is really hard. I don't think anything can prepare us for change. Firstly, kind of, how have you handled change and transition, and has running been kind of like a stabilizing force within that? I don't want to put words into your mouth, but speak to that, and then I want to hear about what you're doing.
Well, running has definitely been quite important. I mean, change is hard, whether it's your own decision to change, whether it's someone else's decision, whether it's inevitable, whether it's out of the blue. I had 3 months to get used to it. The idea of between the redundancy and actually finishing.
Yeah.
I had my 3 months notice. I had nothing to go to at the end of that. So then you kind of start the next chapter, I guess. But throughout all of that, so I have a regular running routine. Again, I'm like the polar opposite from you in that I would much rather run with other people than on my own.
Yeah.
And in COVID, we started, 4 of us started running together at 7:00 every Tuesday in the morning. It's like, that came out, I think, everyone had nothing to do. It was when we were allowed to start running together. And in those times when you were only allowed to run with one other person, we used to meet in twos. 7:00 every Tuesday, meet in the same place, run 5 miles, go for a coffee, and off you go. And then pretty soon Fridays got added to that as well. So every Tuesday, every Friday, without fail, we meet in the same place. We don't run the same route every time, but variations on a theme.
Yeah.
Because we all come from, we converge in that starting place. We run our 5 miles. We have coffee on a Friday. That includes a cake. That's quite important.
Very.
And it just happens. There's no debate beforehand about, does anyone fancy a run tomorrow? It happens at 7:00 on a Tuesday and Friday. We just there, there's no shall we, shan't we? Yeah. Nothing like ice occasionally has stopped us once or twice.
Yeah. Okay.
Rain absolutely does not stop us.
Yeah.
Snow may have stopped us once or twice, but I would say since the pandemic, weather has probably got in the way perhaps 5 times. We're just there, and that has continued. That kind of routine of I'm not going out to work at the moment.
Yeah.
But nothing would stop me. And I like a lion, as previously said. Still, nothing would stop me not being there at 7:00 in the morning, twice a week, for the same. And, we just chat about everything and anything and a load of old rubbish, as well as, whatever's going on in people's lives or, the big stuff gets talked about as well as the random dreams we had last night or, what we're having for dinner or, what happened on Sewing Bee or, we have to have a quite strict, has everyone seen Race Across the World, Traitors, Sewing Bee, whatever, the things that we all watch, there has to be a kind of, you need to have watched it because we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
That kind of routine and regularity absolutely is so important when, everything else is all a bit up in the air.
Yeah.
Just knowing that is going to happen without fail every week makes a huge difference.
Amazing. And so maximum number of people that might turn up for this run?
It's the same 4 of us.
Same 4. So it's always the same 4.
Occasionally we have a guest attendee.
Yeah.
If someone, occasionally if someone else from running club might want, an extra run or, someone's got a guest staying with them or, someone's sister. But no, there were 5 of us for a while. But no, it's the same 4 people. And that's what kind of keeps it. God knows how we find enough to talk about, but we do.
Yeah.
It's the same people.
I've often wondered that about running clubs. Actually, I'm always just thinking, what does everyone talk about all the time? It's extraordinary. But so much happens in life, right? There is no shortage of stories to be told and problems to be solved.
Running club is so that. The 4 of us met through running club, but that's separate from running club. I think the thing with running club is that we're a small club. We might have maximum on any one run might be, I don't know, 12 or 15 people. There are more on the books, but not everyone comes every time. And the beauty of that is that if you go for a long run on a Sunday, during the course of that 8-10 miles, you might spend a bit of time talking to that person, and then everyone will change. So you chat to loads of different people about different things. So that's quite a different dynamic from the same 4 people talking rubbish at each other because we know each other so well to so running club's a different dynamic again. And I think we're quite we're not a serious competitive, we're not doing like super speedy sessions or we're a sociable running club. So we're kind of going for a nice run across the countryside or whatever, and it is more about the social aspect than knocking off intervals or doing pyramid sessions or whatever it might be.
Yeah, quite. And I presume that what has started as, a group of 4 ladies running together as part of the running club, I presume it must stretch beyond just your weekly runs or your twice a week runs. I presume you found community and people that I guess are with you on life's journey. Would that be fair?
Yeah. I mean, there's a sociable. I mean, it's taken us to places that we wouldn't have done. You know, we've done a few 24-hour endurance events over the years. You know, we've been to random like races and stuff together. You know, weekends away and all the rest of it. The boys know each other. You know, everyone's husband knows each other. So you know, it's taken us. You know, it's got social kind of elements as well.
Yeah.
It might
incredible.
take us to Budapest. We'll see.
Yeah, incredible. And so there was one bit that you said that's completely trivial, but I'm genuinely fascinated by this bit. You said that after one of your runs, you have cake. Is that after a 7 a.m. run?
Well, yes. So we go to the coffee shop, we have coffee, and we don't have coffee and cake there and then. The cake is a takeaway. So it might be a pastry or something for breakfast, but no, it's not just a coffee on a Friday. It's a coffee and a something. But we don't eat it there and then at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, I was just envisaging like you sat down at like 8:30 in the morning, tucking into your first slice of chocolate cake for the day, and I think, what could be better in life?
Indeed.
How do you fuel for these runs? Are you a fuel before you run, a fuel after you run?
I'm a get out of bed at the latest possible moment that I can possibly get out.
Yeah.
My alarm, and particularly since I got an electric car that I can preheat on the drive, I can get out
isn't it good?
I'm a get out of bed as late as possible that I can get there for 7 o'clock.
Okay.
But there is no fuel. We only run 5 miles.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anything up till 6 miles doesn't need fueling for me.
Yeah. So
no fueling takes.
No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What are the struggles with running? Like, what are the bits that you find hard to get motivated by? I mean, I'm kind of slightly imagining there might not be any.
I'm terrible at running on my own. So I like a goal, I like a target. So the last however many years I've run, the last 3 or 4 years, I've made it to 1,200 miles in a year. Yeah. Which I'm quite happy with. I've got no particular desire to run further than that.
Yeah.
My goal for this year is to do the 1,200 miles, try and get 100 miles a month, which I've never done that before. I've done the 1,200, but a bit up and down. So this year I'm like, let's see if I can do it 100 miles a month.
Yeah.
So that means I need to run a certain number of miles a week.
Yeah.
Obviously, break it down further and further. I'm not very good at going out for a run on my own. I'm a terrible procrastinator. So the beauty of the 7 o'clock run is that my kit is all in the bathroom. I roll out of bed into the bathroom, clean my teeth, kit on, and out the door. Not via anywhere, like literally straight down the stairs out the front door. Not via anything. So because I have to be there at 7 o'clock. But if I'm on my own, you can do all. Everyone says leave your kit out the night before. La la la. It doesn't work. No, and I need that. So I'm terrible at running on my own. Yeah. Which is when I get in things like hill sessions, interval sessions that I have on my watch. I'm quite good at going out and doing a speed session if it's set up on my watch to say, run the 3 minutes, recover for 30 seconds, run 1 minute, whatever it might be. I'm quite motivated by that. Yeah. If someone said to me, go out and do a 5 mile run, of course I'm perfectly capable of running 5 miles.
Yeah.
It would take me till lunchtime to get around to it. Yeah. And then I would faff around, I would stop on the way, I would take some photos. I'm absolutely useless at going out for a run on my own.
Yeah.
A normal run. I don't have that thing that people like, oh, running's my headspace. And, it's when I think, it's like, no, I don't have any of that.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at going out running on my own.
Yeah. Believe it or not, although I am the running is my headspace guy. I love running on my own. I can go out for hours without headphones and just sit in my own thoughts for, 3 hours. I am very similar, though, that it can take me a ridiculous amount of time to get out the door. I mean, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, actually. I think I put my running gear on before, when I got up at about 7, and I don't think I got out for my run until middle of the afternoon. And I just I just found all sorts of other things, and it's been an interesting switch for me, losing the routine of work, where it was kind of like a binary. Well, if I'm going to run today, I need to run before I sit down at my desk at 9 o'clock. And, and sometimes I would, come in from my run at 5 to 9, and I've got my computer open, I've got my emails, and I'm eating breakfast. And then somewhere mid-morning, I might run up and have a quick shower. And, so I've done that. But without that structure, and I'm, now, trying to, I suppose, doing my own business development, I'm now trying to really kind of say, right, well, the day does start at 9, Paul. But when you've got nothing, on a weekend day, when I'm thinking about my long run, it's, I procrastinate, and then I was like, oh, crap. I was going to try and do a 3-hour run, and it's now 5 o'clock, and we're also doing stuff this evening. And then the day's gone, and I'm a little bit all or nothing. So I then go, I'll then sort of have this sort of internal dialogue with myself and go, do you know what, Paul, just don't bother. Just don't even run. It's not worth it now. You were going to do 3 hours, and you're only going to really, really do 45 minutes. Knock it on the head. And, that for me is the big struggle, where it's, if I get any kind of shift, it's like, well, we've ruined it now. Let's just enjoy ourselves.
That's why I need my weekly. My kind of weekly mileage was a bit all over the place because, I was like racing and what have you. But like now I'm like, right, I need to get back to my 25 miles a week. Yeah. Because if I know I'm going to get my 25 miles a week, I'll get my 100 a month. Yeah,
that's right.
And I know 25 miles a week is small fry, like for you, but it's that's enough for me.
Yeah. Well,
it's all relative.
Yeah, it is. It's all relative. And I still remember when 25 miles a week wouldn't have been small fry for me. Yeah. It's, it's so interesting that progression, because it was probably only 4 years ago where I was, my standard, maybe when I was just getting back into it 5 years ago, my standard kind of longest run I would do would be 5 miles. And I might do that 4 or 5 times a week, which is in and around 25 miles a week. Now, well, if I'm having a good week, I'm aiming for between 60 and 70. But it's all so relative, because I still look at all of the the elites and I suppose all of the kind of like the professional influencers who are doing 100 minimum miles a week, 150. There's a guy in Japan who does like 200-mile weeks, and I look at what I do and I just say, oh my goodness, it's just so pathetically small. And then you remember how far you've come in the journey. So we've been yapping away for a long time. I love hearing about the running, but what I want to hear about is what you've been made redundant. You've been in an established career for years to date. How have you handled the change and the transition, and what are you going to do?
Well, I guess I'm very much a glass half full kind of person. It's not in my nature to be pessimistic. I'm the kind of person that looks out the window and goes, oh, it's raining. Oh, but it might stop in a minute. Kind of, I am an optimistic person, and I also like a challenge. Yeah. So, it's an opportunity to do something, to give something a go that I never would have thought about. So, I should preface it by saying I do still, I love my career. Yeah. I love what I do. I love market research. I love talking to people. And it's still on my to-do list to keep some of that, and to hopefully do a little bit of freelance research work. So I'm not kind of totally waving goodbye to what I've done for the last however many years. But for the last 6 years, I've been doing a lot of sewing. I'm a bit of a cliche, took it up in the pandemic, started sewing clothes, started just kind of dabbling with being a bit more creative, and haven't looked back really. So, I make all of my own clothes. I make some stuff for other people, but largely make for myself. And
even what you're wearing now?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose that would have been encompassed in the all my own clothes statement. Yeah.
I do still have some things that predate that time, but
Yeah, okay, yeah.
no, I make everything, and I like that challenge of like, oh, I need a new such and such. Well, let's see if I can make it, because it's got to be possible, right?
Yeah.
So, and people have been saying to me, oh, you should do something in sewing, la la la. I'm like, well, where's, not to put too fine a point on it, but where's the money?
Yeah. Yeah.
If someone said to me, can you make me a dress? Then if I broke down, the material costs, the time costs, everything, like, well, you're not going to pay that.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as saying, well, I'll just make things for people.
Yeah.
So, but I am using the opportunity to dabble in that side of things, and I'm going into upcycling and refashioning clothes. So largely, like, I'm starting kind of quite small, quite core. Let's see where it goes. But initially working with things like jeans, like denim, to make bags. So the notion being that I will work with people's pre-loved denim that they've got sitting in their wardrobe, that they're holding on to because they like it, because just in case, or I might wear it again. We all know, until I started doing this, I had pairs of jeans in my wardrobe that I hadn't worn for years. They're all turned into bags now, but that kind of thing. So working with people's clothes and refashioning them for them. So, and turning men's shirts into nice women's blouses, shirts, that kind of thing. And that is what I am dabbling in at the moment.
Wow.
Launching in September, hopefully. Hopefully. It is launching in September.
Yeah, no, it will be. You're gonna need some money, I'm sure. What what's it called?
It's called Conkers and Thread.
Conkers and Thread. Love that.
Yes.
Where does the name come from?
Well,
the thread bit's obvious.
I love conkers. The thread is obvious.
Yeah.
I just love conkers. Like, they're my favorite. There's a jar of conkers. Probably, I don't know if you can see them there by my sewing machine.
If I can barely, I've not got my glasses on, so I can barely even see the screen.
I have conkers everywhere. I just think they're very tactile. They're very I can't pass a conker tree in the autumn without filling my pockets full of conkers. And I just love conkers. And ChatGPT did me all this nice little spiel about the significance of conkers and how it's the seed of something new and la la la. But I just like conkers, basically. And it makes for a nice logo. I've got a beautiful conker kind of logo, and it's memorable and all that kind of
conkers and thread.
Yeah, conkers and thread.
Love it.
It doesn't exist yet in the cyber world.
Oh, right. Well, you better get that domain before some opportunistic.
I bought the domain.
Okay,
good.
The domain. Good. I wouldn't want an eagle-eyed listener to try and do you out of something there. That would
no. I bought the domain. It just doesn't have a website attached to it yet.
Yeah,
but it will.
It's all right.
It's on my to-do list for this week.
You and PKS runs both in the same boat. Got domains, no websites. By the time this publishes, though, I think it's probably going to be about 3 weeks from now. Maybe there will be something there. So
maybe there'll probably be an Instagram by then.
Yeah.
Whether the website will be up by then, I don't know.
Brilliant. Well, I'll put all of the details in the notes when we release that. Can people send you jeans? Like, what's the process?
Absolutely. So it will all be on the website, but the process is there'll be a whole host of different types of things that can be made with them. They'll all be on the website, and then there'll be a means of specifying what you would like, and then they just send me their jeans,
and then you make it. So basically, they choose what they want. You make it out of their clothes. They get that back. That's brilliant. I love that. I think that's so good. I think. I mean, obviously, we're, I guess. Sustainability is huge at the moment, and I think finding good ways of recycling, upcycling is brilliant. Do you make your own running gear?
It's on my list. Having said I've bought all my own clothes, I've made all my own clothes. I've got the material, I've got the book, just haven't got around to it yet. But yes, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. I just haven't got around to it yet.
Haven't got around to it. Yeah.
I've got, like every runner, I have got a massive cupboard full of stuff, full of running wear. So yeah.
I'm on the lookout for like my ideal pair of shorts or running belt that would carry all of my, my camera, my little drone, my phone, and I asked for a new running belt thing for my birthday, which I got, and I took it out, and it's like, no, it's not it. And I've been through so many things, and I always think, if only I could make my own clothes.
Yeah,
And then I could
uh-huh.
just make the thing exactly what I want. And I don't even need to make two of it. Well, I probably do.
Yeah.
So maybe there can be a Conquer and Stitch and PKS Runs collab at some point where you can
Maybe.
you can make my ideal running pack out of jeans.
Maybe. Yeah, not so comfortable, but yeah.
It wouldn't be very comfortable. Although there is
No.
a trend, it seems. There seem to be these guys doing ridiculous, like 2-hour 40 marathons in the States wearing a pair of jeans. And yeah, there's a couple of guys who seem to do it. I have no idea how they could possibly get through that. Yeah.
I did race a half marathon next to an inflatable dinosaur once, which wouldn't happen at your speed. But I was probably going about 2:05 kind of pace, and I was determined not to be beaten by the inflatable dinosaur. But yeah.
How did it end? Did you beat them?
I did beat them, yeah.
Well done. Well done. It's like when I passed the...
I don't think I could tell the story otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's like when I found myself like head to head with the pineapple guy. Have you seen him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, there's no way this guy can... I can't be beaten by this guy. But he to keep that pineapple on his head, he is going very slowly. But, I mean, that's a whole nother level of kind of physical capability. So, final question, and I've asked this question of everyone that I've chatted to so far, and it wasn't a planned thing, but it's quite a fun thing. Can I come and run a half marathon or a marathon with you and do a run walk?
Absolutely.
I would love to do that.
Although, I mean, I say that, not a marathon. That's I'd have to train for it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the thing is with run walking is it's quite a selfish thing.
Yeah.
So, you have to... I've done it with a friend where you were both on holiday when our local half marathon was running.
Yeah.
So we both missed it.
Yeah.
So we went out the following weekend and ran the route.
Yeah, okay.
But we did it. We weren't racing it. So we did 8 minutes, 1 minute. And so we did do it together.
Yeah.
And when I did my ultra, we did run walking for a while. But yeah, you have to agree with each other that that's the strategy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we've not even talked about your ultra. Can we for a couple of minutes tell me you did Race to the Stones?
Yes, very not the way you should do it. No training. I've got the miles in my legs, but not the long runs. But
yeah,
a friend ran Race to the Kings a few weeks before, fell over and broke her nose 7 miles in, so had to withdraw. Went to see her when she was convalescing. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to sign up for another one later in the summer." There's me, newly redundant. Oh, I've got some time on my hands. If you're doing one later in the summer, I could do some training, and if you want company, then I'll do it with you. Yeah, she says. 10 days later, I get a text on a Sunday. I've entered Race to the Stones. It's in 2 weeks' time. No pressure. Completely understand if you don't want to do it, but I'd love it if you would. It closes today. So that was that. And then we did it in the heat wave, 50k.
Wow.
Absolutely loved it. I didn't love the last 10k so much because it was hard.
Yeah.
But amazing. Like, not in a great hurry to do another one.
No, okay.
I feel I would I mean, never say never and all that.
Yeah.
An amazing experience. That takes run walking to another whole level. Everyone's walking, apart from the super fast people at front. But we came in a respectable time. We came in like halfway through our age category.
Wow.
Can't argue with me.
Yeah. Amazing.
So
yeah. Okay, so watch this space. You never say never. Wow. Well,
isn't that how most of us get into this?
I think that is. I honestly, I think it is. I mean, I distinctly remember at the end of the Manchester Marathon finish line, saying on a YouTube live, "I will never ever run a marathon again." Yeah, here we are. So, I think that's always the way. I think you've got to be prepared for the unexpected, haven't you? And see where life takes us. Rebecca, thank you so much. It's been so great to chat to you. I've loved hearing your stories. You are clearly just so passionate about running and the community that running can bring, and I love that. I want other people to experience that. I want to experience that. Maybe I will find a little group of people that I can run with regularly and enjoy it. I can't see how that would happen, but Maybe. Never say never. Thank you so much. Look forward to more of these conversations. Just obviously a little bit of show admin. Don't forget to subscribe and share with all of your friends. If you've got an interesting story, then please do get in touch. I would love to hear from you. And I'll see you in the next episode.